Okay, that was strange. When I went to share my video into the group, my video went sideways and I could not fix it. So my day 21 actually is today for Temple Body Devotion. It's the last day, but I'm going to keep going. And I feel like I went live everywhere in between. And I'm just going to continue with day 22, 23, and so on. And yeah, let me see if I can share from my computer. You know, for a couple of days, I actually didn't see the live option on my phone. And I don't like to use my laptop because it's old, well, old-ish. Okay, I'm sharing it for a couple of groups, my alchemical group and also the Lioness Portal. And if you are in the Lioness Portal with me and Nicole, we're actually going to have another fun challenge, a 21-day Lioness Roar challenge to finish up the year and to enter into year 2021 with, you know, a powerful roar. So say hi to me if you're here now or later on replay. This message that I'm coming with today has been with me for a few days, and I'm only getting more confirmations around it that it's that I want to speak about a little bit. So this will be a quick message about our own sharing and what we share. I actually asked this question myself personally a few weeks back, a couple of weeks back in November, when I felt another part of my purpose work dropping in and feeling that that part of my purpose work required for me to be a little bit more courageous and more brave. Oh, I'm quiet. I'm wearing my AirPods. Maybe I can speak up a little bit louder. So let me know if you can hear me better. Let me know if you can hear me better. So in November, I asked this question, and it was about me speaking about something. How would that affect the people I speak to, or what if it is going to stir them up? And the answer I received was what I'm talking about, or what I want to start speaking about, which was about women and children being kept in slavery and human trafficking. And if that's going, how is that going to look to the world? And the answer that I received was, do those women and children truly have time for me to figure out whether, or my worries, or figure out, waiting for me to get over or get past through my worries or my fears of whatever conditions that I have that are preventing me from speaking or writing or doing something about it. And so, you know, that really resonated for me. When we are certain about our mission, our passion, our purpose work, then what does our fears and our worries have to do with anything? Because when we know our purpose work, we are going to be guided and supported every step of the way, and we just must get rid of the fears. And in order to get rid of the fears, we have to start talking about what we're here to talk about. So a little bit ago, just recently, I was asked this question for two people within the same weekend. One person asked, okay, moved onto phone. Okay. So, yeah, my laptop actually is really quiet, so I do not like to use it because I can't hear anything on my laptop. But a couple of people asked me about a similar question, and one woman asked about her desiring to step into more her work with women, but she's afraid what is that going to look like to people who know her. So there's like this fear of stepping into the role, and the fear of what will people think of you. So I'm just going to sit differently, be a little closer. And then another beautiful friend of mine asked me, because she sees me showing up a little more, she asked, how do you get over this fear that you may be too much? And what she would be offering seems like wouldn't be a huge fear, because, it's a studio. You would just kind of, if you wanted to inspire people or talk about what you're offering, like that's normal. But even then, people are afraid to be too much, or to show up too much, or to share too much. So how do you get over the feeling of saying, or if you yourself are too much? And oftentimes we are told, you are too much, you need to be less, you need to humble yourself, or you need to be quiet, or you need to be this way, or you need to be that way, where in reality we actually want to show up and be more expressive. Hi, Lauren. How are you? So yeah, I'm just speaking a little bit about showing up and sharing the message, and how to overcome the fear of being too much, or fear of being seen by the people in your life that you think will judge you, or that you think will think that you're too much. Whatever else they're going to think, right? So what are you talking about? When I was tuning into this question, how much is too much for you? Why do you think you're too much? Is this a condition that you've been told time after time? And are you showing up as yourself? Are you showing up as yourself, or are you showing up as trying to be someone? Are you speaking from the heart? Are you being authentic? Are you being real? Are you being true? Me too. I have been tired, and not feeling 100%. I had to cancel a call this morning with a beautiful sister of mine that I was so looking forward to connecting, but I had to trust my body and let myself rest, because I started to not feel well, because how exhausted I was and tired. And I noticed I can't sleep. I go to bed really late, and I still have to get up at 7 in the morning to get my kids to school, and just having that tiredness all around, which is like waiting for something. When you waiting for something, you have this insomnia, can't sleep. And for me, it's been absorbing information, not really putting it out in a few days, but actually bringing it in, absorbing and feeling and aligning, deciding what's true, what is not. And whenever I take this time, or I feel like whenever I don't show up as much, this is what I'm doing. I am absorbing. So when we show up with our message, serving our true, genuine heart's desire to deliver the message of light, the message of healing, guidance, service, while fully listening to hints and guidance and prompts of whatever message is coming through, trying to deliver through this body, through this voice, whatever message is coming through, while listening to all the hints and prompts. And how can we show up as too much when we show up in our most authentic self? And who is to say that we are too much? And while our physical conditioned mind and body is questioning and preventing us from showing up in the world, our soul is the one that is truly guiding. And the soul is the one that, overcomes the conditioned mind and the conditioned body, because the soul is the one that perseveres. The soul is the one that knows the message has to be delivered, whatever it is for each one of us, delivering the guidance of the universe source, divine, God, goddess, of your own understanding, of your own connection. So, when I was asked, how do you get over feeling that you are too much, or that you're sharing too much, that you're speaking too much, the way you should get over it, you just have to do it. You just have to keep doing it. Keep showing up, keep writing and showing up. Even writing an inspirational paragraph can be extremely difficult for someone to share because of the fear of how they are going to be perceived by the family, by the friends, by the world, in however way. This message could be coming from your own inspirations. It could be animals, trees, it could be dragons, it could be aliens, it could be the divine guidance, and anywhere you feel connection to the wisdom. It could be science, you could be talking about math, and you could be talking about politics. As long as you are aligned in your message, knowing that this message somehow is going to be healing for the world, or for those people, or for the one person who is listening, to be that beacon of light and inspiration, to be witnessed, so that others can heal by witnessing you, by seeing you in your authentic, raw self, watching you, witnessing you being guided while you're being prompted by all of these messages, however they come through the challenges. There's so many challenges now in the world, the 21-day temple body devotion, and then the one that's coming up inside Lioness Portal we're going to do December 11th through 31st. So we're literally going into the last day of the year, and every day we just have to show up. And we're actually gonna just show up in the group, but if someone who wants to show up outside can just share it into the group. And this is how we create that consistency and a discipline of showing up and getting over the fact that some of us may feel that we are too much, or maybe we look messy, or we are awkward, or we're not ready, or we don't know what we're saying, or worrying about how we're going to be perceived. We're feeling small and invisible, unimportant. Whatever that may be, humble and meek. I'm completely over that part of being humble, because we're not here to be humble. Humble literally means unimportant. If you look into the origin of the word humble, and we are important. One of my teachers always speaks about humbleness and humility, and how it became a thing with the religion. When the religion came, and they wanted people to be meek and small, and not rise up, and not do what they truly desire, but to be small and unimportant, and feel like they can live in humbly. And there's nothing wrong with it, as long as we can be empowered Hi, love. You're here with me. Yes, thank you. We are truly here to be in our power, and we are important. And we're not too much, and we're also not enough. We are enough. We're exactly where we need to be. And my current mentor, Sophia Tom, actually has taught me this for the past. I actually connected to her over 3 years ago through an online meditation. Her meditation was about you are enough. I remember just, it's one of those things that you just remember forever. It's just that moment. You don't remember the words that were spoken, but the feeling that was transmuted into you was that you are enough. You are enough. And there was ever anyone said anything otherwise, they are not right. Well, they're speaking from their own perception of themselves, that you are either not enough or you are too much. But in reality, you are exactly how you are and exactly how you're supposed to be. And when we are told those things, we contract and we become small and we become meek and we become ashamed, and we go back into the dwelling in our smallness and feeling, shame about ourselves, and we don't show up because we feel we are too much in some way, or we're not enough, or we don't know enough, or we haven't done enough trainings, or we haven't gathered enough wisdom, or we don't have 30 or 20 or generational wisdom behind us. None of that matters. What matters is you now in this moment truly awakening to your own soul wisdom. It's truly about aligning to your own inner guidance. I know people who no teachers, no gurus, no quotes. They don't read books, and they come up with the most authentic, genuine wisdom. Yes, we are so enough. I love you so much. And you, Suzanne, are such an incredible support. And my sister, and you have always supported me. I am love, I am kindness, I am brave, I am courageous. Yep. Know ourselves. I am. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, so, when we contract into the smallness and into the meekness, it's almost like we're putting our soul back into the cage behind bars, and the soul is crying out inside for freedom to express, to be wild, to be open. Until the next moment when we allow the soul to speak up. And hopefully the next moment the soul will be more empowered, and there's no words that can make the soul small again and meek again or contract again. So when we show up in our authentic truth, in our genuine, most true, raw self, we have to be confident and stand in our confidence of our importance and the importance of the message, and recognizing that our thoughts of the doubts, if I am too much, are the conditioned beliefs that have been placed upon us by the society or the world. And they're programs of the world that want to keep us from speaking up, so that we don't go out and ignite the hearts and the souls of others, of other meek and humble people, and let them know and give them permission that they too can speak up and bring their healing message to someone else. It's like this vibrational frequency that goes out into the world, and it awakens the hearts of many others, and it awakens their desire to speak and to show up and to change the world even a little bit, even if it's just a few words for one person to flip their switch, to know their worth and to know that they are enough, and they can be done with listening to those programs and to those people who try to tell them otherwise, those people in stories that keep them small, that keep them contracted, and they place that smallness upon their lives to keep them from rising and to have control over their souls, because they don't want their souls to be empowered and rising and speaking up for themselves. They don't want them to know that they're whole and true and authentic, and in fact, we are the ones that can change that and can shift that, and we can claim ourselves fully, and we can claim ourselves unapologetically as who we came here to be. Too much. Own that fact that you're too much, because you're not too much for many, and for whoever you are too much, they're just not ready for you. They're not ready for your high vibrational frequency of love, of service, of divine. Oh my gosh, yes, I put this on, like the gift of that necklace, this woman. Yeah, thank you. I have this beautiful necklace. It's hard to see. There's a leaf inside of it. And she gifted to me on her birthday. Like, what if all of us on our birthday went and gifted a gift to someone else rather than expect everybody else showering us with gifts? And that feels good, and we're so grateful. But also we can change the story, and instead of constantly waiting, we can actually give. And for that woman, this was her message to me, and it touched me deeply, and I'm going to, keep this necklace for the rest of my life. It's some sort of a beautiful antique necklace. And maybe I will gift it to someone else at some point, but it's like that, it's the cycle of giving and receiving and serving, and just being in your authentic wholeness and fullness without a fear of showing up as too much. And what I wanted to also speak about, it is about the discipline to overcome the fear of being too much, or the fear of not enough, or the fear of not knowing, or the fear of showing up and being seen by others. The discipline is to put aside the mind daily, on a daily. Whenever those thoughts come up, be disciplined about it and do what you gotta do time after time. If you need to analyze these thoughts, if you need to plan on whatever you need to attract from soul, the message, if you need to journal about it, writing some stuff down, deconstructing, talking to like-minded people, and seeing your own self as being irresponsible if you follow those inner thoughts that tell you that you are too much and you shouldn't be showing up or speaking your message. And tuning back into the purpose and inviting back your highest self, snapping out of it. Those programs that have been conditioned upon us, they're like they have their way of working in our divine knowing. And for me, I've been postponing this live for a few days, and I've been showing up for this 21-day challenge in other groups where I feel safer. I feel that showing up in a safer place where, there's 40 people rather than 5,000 is safer. But why do I feel that way? I'm conditioned. And so it's for us to recognize these conditions, and the only way to get through them is by going live, by writing and posting. Even a few months ago, there were these pieces that I would write. I would have this anxiety or vulnerability around posting, and now I can actually post anything. I can write anything and post it, but I had to post it time after time, and I had to experience a little bit of anxiety and vulnerability hang over each time I would post it, and just get over it. Just get over it. Just tell it to yourself, get over it. And you are responsible for your message. You're responsible. It's not up to you anymore. And continuing showing up with intention, continuing showing up authentically, genuinely. And yes, post as much as you want. Not everybody's going to be sitting on Facebook reading every single post. But for people to see something truly that comes from your genuine, authentic heart, aligned with your soul purpose that you're speaking about, is going to make a difference unto the collective, unto the world. So sharing your soul's message, showing up with intention and energy and vibration, frequency, and allowing yourself to adjust to the new way of showing up with more power, with more unapologetic intention and sense, and to be in a space of no worries. Because right now, each time, this is like what's the word, a testimonial for my own self, that I could be procrastinating for a few days, and then when I show up right now in this moment, I am inspired to show up more. I feel myself guided. Everything I say just flows. I don't feel that I'm too much. I don't care about that. I don't have vulnerability, hangover. I know that I'm worthy. I'm worthy to be showing up in my vulnerability. That's what it's important to realize too. And I realized that by me not speaking your message, or not writing more message, or not doing my work in the world, or not supporting others, is me being irresponsible and actually selfish. It's selfish of me to not show up. And it's selfless to show up and to speak as if I am too much, because I know that the divine through me will inspire others to show up. This is really interesting because I'm about to post so much about trauma. People need to know, yes, we have learned so much. And it would be selfish of you if you didn't post. Because someone out there needs to hear you and your true experience of your trauma, of your healing, of what you're going through. There's so many of us. A few days ago, I posted a post that it wasn't from me. I shared it, and it was so beautifully written about trauma. And that post got the most attention, the most shares, the most comments than any of the posts that I've ever written and posted. And I know how powerful that post was, and it was about trauma and the trauma response and our inability to ask for help is a trauma response. And so that made me really realize how much trauma there is in the world, and no one talks about it. And it's kind of avoided. We're all trying to go into the light. We're all trying to, flutter our wings into the light like these beautiful butterflies. No one wants to know about trauma. No one wants to know about our wounds. And if you have them, there's a separate place for it to go. into your darkness, under your sheets, and to cry. Like, why can't we just be open about all of it? Why can't we just embrace all of it together and talk about this? So yes, please post that, and I know you will. Like, I know you're so brave, and there's nothing, you know. Suzanne, my sister, my soul sister, who happens to be my family, I don't know what I would do without you in my life, because you are like my anchor. To know what some people can go through is truly teaches us that there's really nothing in this world that matters more than speaking our truth and rising in being who we truly are. So yeah, I just wanted to speak on this, on self-discipline. Disciplining our mind, our false ego mind, our body that prevents the soul from doing the work. And right now, the whole planet is going through this process of ascension. And as we ascend in our spirituality, as the world is shifting, as we're moving into the new way of being, a lot of trauma comes up, a lot of wounding come up, and a lot of these wounds will tell us to stop doing that, to not show up, to not share, that you are too much, you're not enough, because we've been conditioned by all of this. And the discipline and showing up is actually what we must do in order to heal those wounds. And talking about the trauma is going to heal our own trauma and heal others. And we can be those messengers of light, warriors of love, and continue rising through pain, through trauma, through fears, through self-doubt. And, you know, honestly, fuck anyone who says otherwise or thinks otherwise. They're not your people. They're not our people. And if anyone perceives us as anything, we don't need those people in our lives. And maybe we can go into our audience and clean it up and delete the energy that doesn't support us, and delete the energy out of our lives who doesn't support us. And we don't need 100 friends. We truly only need 5, a handful. You know, Yogi Bhajan has said that, and I remember that. We just need the 5 people in our lives. And if we have 100, that's amazing. But these are the 5s that we should truly be aware of and nurture those relationships. So I think this is my message. Thank you so much for being here. So done not being able to speak about my trauma. Done with that shit. Yes. And I'm here to fully support you and be by your side. You know that. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. This is day 21, final day, but I'm gonna keep going. And I love you so much too. Love you, everyone who's here, and all of the people in my life. I love you all. And you know what's so interesting too? I was talking today to my beautiful client, and you know, she posted an incredibly powerful post. And she said, it was this post that was, I actually didn't even need to read it to feel the energy of it. It was so powerful. And she knew it too. She was truly stepping into her power. And she said, you know, some of my friends who are you know, she said feminist. And I'm not sure exactly, like, I understand, but they were like some leaders, you know, in their community. They did not support that powerful post. And it's just interesting to notice that myself too. The people that you feel would support you don't always support you. And then you see them supporting something that's just so irrelevant to true meaning of life and the true meaning of service and compassion and empathy. And then you really realize and know who your people are, and your people will come and they will find you and they will support you, and the ones that don't will slowly fall away and they will dissolve, and you will continue on. Once we're on this path, we're not stopping and we're not turning back. So just continue being disciplined with showing up, no matter what the inner self tells you, because it heard it from somewhere else outside of your body. And also one more thing, there's no greater power outside of yourself. And each morning, simply ask, how can I serve the world today with this greater power? So I'll finish on that. Thank you, and may all of our practices and may all of our words contribute to the benefit of all humanity in some way. Thank you, and have a beautiful evening and a beautiful week. I love you. Bye.